We're going to piss some people off with this video.
These controversial videos, I get so tired of reading these comments.
Yeah. Get prepared for this one.
I know. I just love how people, like, some of the most enjoyable content that people like from us are like when we're opinionated, and
we have opinions.
We have opinions, but I like just with any opinion-based video, like we do things that people don't agree with. Other people do things that we don't agree with because everybody backpacks differently. Yeah. Everybody uses different gear. Yep. Everybody swears by different things. Yep. So this is just our opinion.
These are our opinions on backpacking items people are wrong about.
Yeah. If you say these things, you are just flat out wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong.
No. And we jest, but it's more like just stuff that we think people, you hear a lot of people say in the backpacking community, and we tend to think maybe they're a little full of it. The first, and I've been guilty of this one. The first item on the list is, and a lot of this is because Andy and I have done a lot more winter camping. Trail runners suck in the winter.
You just went right for it.
I did. I'm taking a hard stance on that. And when I mean winter, I mean snow, wet, cold. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, we did like few seasons of winter backpacking where we are not wearing trail runners, and our feet are just keeping your feet dry is just so much nicer.
Keeping your feet dry and warm in trail runners can be a challenge.
Yeah.
And if you have like a full boot or even a Gore-Tex thing or even something that's higher up on your foot, it's better in the winter without a doubt. We still love trail runners in the summer. I think they're great as long as you can go with less ankle support.
Yeah.
But I see people wear trail runners in the winter in the snow, and it just never turns out well.
Well, what happens is like the second you stop, your feet get cold. You arrive to camp, your feet are soaking wet. And now, granted, our feet, like I've had wet feet too in my boots, but it's just you're just more uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah. So first thing, second thing, this is gonna really bring out the haters. This one, there's definitely an elitism within the hammock camping community, I think, in terms of it being the best way to sleep. Period. If you talk to any hammock camper.
Not any hammock camper.
If you talk to most hammock campers, this is one I do believe, they're all going to say hammock camping is by far the best way to sleep, period. And for some people, it certainly is.
For me, it is.
For you, it is. For me, it's not. I like sleeping in a hammock, but I'm never going to 100% sleep in a hammock anymore, I don't think. There are just certain situations where a tent is superior to a hammock. So a hammock is not the end all be all. It's not the best way to sleep, period. It's a great way to sleep. It's great for a lot of people. It's not great for everybody. I think that's another thing. Now, this one definitely applies to ground sleeping. I don't think this applies to being in a hammock. In the ground, in the winter, I think sometimes sleeping bags are way better.
I haven't used a sleeping bag in years, right. But
now at least with a quilt, you can get the straps so you're not left hanging. But if the temp's below 30, your head's going to get cold, obviously. It's just nice to be able to wriggle around and not have to worry about a quilt. Now, a quilt's obviously lighter. You can certainly get warmer quilts in general, I think.
But I think you're just making the argument here from like being cocooned.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you definitely agree that the down that you're sleeping on top of is not providing any warmth?
So it's definitely, even just having a layer of fabric there is providing some level of warmth.
See, I think
it might be incredibly minuscule.
No, I don't think you're getting any warmth. I think the
How are you not? It's a layer of fabric. It's going to insulate you at least a little bit.
Not anything noticeable, but I think
more than zero.
Barely. But okay. I think you're trying to think. I think what you're trying to say, the advantage is it's not going to like move around
Correct.
on you.
I think, yeah, that is the I'm not saying the sleeping bag, the bottom of it insulates you. I'm saying the advantage is you can move around. Yeah. You don't have to worry about slits of air.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, obviously, if you're if you're inside of a bag that seals all around you, you're gonna have.
And in general, in hammock and winter camping, I think weight's out the window. Now, and in winter in a hammock, I don't think that applies. I think you're just as comfortable in a top quilt as a sleeping bag in a hammock. I've done them both in the winter. I would say it doesn't matter in a hammock because you got the underquilt coming up underneath you, and I don't think it's a big deal.
And you know what? For all you cottage down manufacturers
Make
out there, make a mummy bag. That's like
doesn't have to be a mummy bag, just a sleeping bag.
Yeah, I mean that's a niche product now that the cottage industry is not necessarily making all that much of. I know there's a few out there, but
we had a old talk with D-Ball Dan Becker, and I agreed with him. He said if you're a beginner and it's in the winter, or even if just you're a beginner, stick with the sleeping bag. He touts that. I think in the winter definitely. I don't know about the summer. In the summer it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. I think, Andy, there are now a few things that go against what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say in general, one person tents blow.
Oh my God, you're an idiot. Why would you say that?
They're too small. One person tent is not a feasible size for one person. I mean, that's a running joke.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, but I think most people like design one-person tents and
for minimalism.
And then specifically with the understanding of like you got to put your pack in the vestibule. Period.
Yeah. I still think that blows. Now, there are some new Z-Packs tents, and there are some one-person tents that are bigger now than standard. One-person tents are as wide as a sleeping pad.
Yeah. This is the one, and that's you're not getting anything.
You're not even getting an ultra wide sleeping pad.
Yeah.
But there are some new tents that are a little bit wider. But in general, I'm not a fan of one person tents, and I think it's laughable when people say a one person tent is for one person.
And it's laughable when people say that the duplex is for two people comfortably.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. This one pains me to say a little bit. But now that he's making framed packs, it doesn't pain me as much. And we use frameless packs.
Yeah.
But frameless packs are not the end all be all, period, best thing to use all the time ever.
No, it's a craze.
Yeah.
Right now. And frameless packs are great. And they're great if you know what you're doing and if you have the gear for it. But I think the like them being the new rage of like the last few. No, it's not a phase because it's always been around, but they're definitely a little bit more popular now because you got a lot more cottage manufacturers making them now. But like they certainly have their place like in the backpacking community, especially if you have the base weight for it.
Yes.
But it's almost like if you wear a frame pack, then you're looked down upon.
I agree.
But I mean, we love frame packs. We love frameless packs too.
We still use frame packs.
Yeah, I mean, you've
been using a frame pack.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait till it gets warmer so my gear will get lighter so I can go back to my frameless. But if you're looking for one pack to do everything,
it's going to be a framed pack.
It's going to be a frame pack, and
it's not going to be a frameless pack, most likely, unless you're psycho and you have like these 5-pound base weights.
Yeah,
some people do. Next thing, and Andy and I, we've been preaching this for a while. You don't need a tarp with doors.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't know about not at all, but 99.99999% of the time, they're certainly great to have. They're nice to have. They're convenient. They block out wind.
We certainly like having a tarp.
Now that we have tarps with doors, we like using them. But if you have to buy a tarp and you can't afford a tarp with doors, don't worry about it.
You're going to be fine. We
used a tarp without doors for over 2 years in every single weather scenario, and it was totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have doors, don't get me wrong, but don't be afraid. I've been in so many storms with just regular tarp, and I've done 2-ish trips now with the tarp with doors, and it's great, and the coverage is fantastic, and it's a whole new experience. But
it is better
for coverage. Yeah, for sure.
But you don't need it.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Solo backpacking is fun, and it's not that much more unsafe than going with a group of people.
So you're saying here,
people are wrong about saying that solo backpacking is drastically more unsafe.
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot of that lately. I don't know what is spurring that on. I saw some weird stuff about that. People really getting passionate about that. And I would venture to say that most people who backpack, if you look at the entire population of backpacking, I would bet more than half solo backpack.
Yeah, I agree. Now, there is an obvious safety factor in having more people with you.
Yeah, I mean, you just
True.
you just mitigate risks like you do every other thing.
But I don't think it's unsafe to not have people with you.
No, not at all.
But it's still safer to have more people with you.
It's certainly not unsafe.
Right. So don't be afraid. I also think solo backpacking is just as fun. But don't be scared to solo backpack. It's not unsafe.
No, you just have to take into account a few more factors, and one would argue that those factors are no different than even if you were like with a group.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of if you have a group is if something happens to you, you can send people to get help.
Right.
Versus if you're solo. Now, luckily, if you're solo, hopefully you're taking an inReach or something. That's I think that just should be a rule of thumb now.
Well, you just need to have some way of getting help in an emergency.
Yeah. So if you're going solo and you know you're going somewhere that doesn't have cell service, please consider some sort of spot, some sort of GPS device, something. But if you have that, then your ability to get help is just like that of having people with you.
I love this one. And we actually talked to some other people about this too.
This one pisses us off.
Yeah, this one pisses us off because like we live in Ohio and that's where we live and that's where we back.
I'm sorry we live in Ohio.
Yeah, it's the elitism around like, oh, if you're not out west or you're in the mountains, then you're not like legit backpacking, or if you're not in 10 feet of snow, then you're not legit winter camping. It's just the elitism around location.
We can throw through hiking elitism in this as well.
I don't really think, but I would also argue that the thru hikers that we've known and talked to don't really have elitism. It's just like
I agree, and I do think thru hiking makes you a better technical skills backpacker. It has to.
Oh yeah, but that
doesn't make you better. That doesn't make you like
a better person
better than us. You know,
yeah.
Might make your skills better.
Yeah, and so everybody lives in different parts of the world. Not everybody is out west in Colorado
or up there in Canada.
Yeah, we do what we can, and sorry, you might not feel that we're not or illegitimate because we backpack in Ohio, but you know what? That's just the way it is. But there's definitely elitism around location that we've noticed, and that's just weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make you better than us. You might go to prettier places than us, but it doesn't make you better than us.
Yep.
If you thru hiked, you might be better than us.
Yeah, you're definitely better than us.
All right, last one. Then we're going to end on a nice little small one. So when we started hammock camping, everyone told us, by and large, and the common theme was whoopee slings are the best hammock suspension. They're lighter and they're more packable.
Yes.
But I think you'd agree with me that cinch buckle or some sort of cinch buckled suspension is better.
Yeah. It's not lighter, but simpler.
Not lighter.
Simpler, easier to use, and more
For
versatile.
sure.
Yeah. I still have the Blackbird with whoopee slings. It's great, but it is slightly more technical, and you are limited in a pinch with tree
trees.
length. Yeah.
I will say though, on the defense of whoopee slings, before I started using whoopee slings, people said that they were super hard to use.
No, they're not hard to use
They're
at all.
not hard to use at all. I think people were wrong about that.
Yeah.
I think they're actually really easy to use.
Yeah, they're simple.
They're not as easy as cinch buckles. They're not as versatile in terms of the tree distance. All right, that's it. That was a lot of stuff.
Gosh, maybe I won't even read the comments on this one.
Don't. Flame on, that stuff we think people are wrong about. I bet a lot of people will agree with some of that stuff.
With some of it, yeah. And some of it, and again, it also just depends on you. A lot of this stuff depends on how you backpack and what you like. So I get it. This is an opinion-based video.
It's an opinion-based video. It's shoulder season and we got the coronavirus, so there might be some more of these. All right, we'll see everybody later.